The louder the virtue signal, the more skeletons in the closet. I've covered this a few times. I've twatted about this a few times. I think my favorite one, which actually got a whole bunch of attention too, so I'm glad a lot of people agree with me, was pretty much pointing out that throughout my entire life, I've known a lot of truly good people, and not a single one of them was a virtue signaler. You didn't even know about all the good work they do unless you saw them doing it. They never talked about it. They didn't do good just so they can go out and get attention for it. Like, hey, look at me. Look at me. I donated a bunch of money to the homeless just now. Aren't I such a good person? Hey, look at how good I am. No, they did good when no one was watching and expected nothing in return. Those are truly good people. And I've also, throughout the entire course of my boomer life, known a lot of virtue signalers. And not a single one of them has ever been a good person. 'Cause, shocking truth, if you only do good deeds, in quotes, to get backpats, you're not a good person. Good people don't have to constantly keep reminding everyone of how good they are. If you're actually good, you're just going to do the good deeds and go about your day and not expect anything from it. But you know who has to constantly keep reminding everyone how good they are, what a great person they are? Pieces of shit with closets full of skeletons and guilty consciences. Because that's the thing. Not only are these virtue signalers only trying to do good deeds to get attention, the vast majority, if not all of them, are trying to make up for something. They feel guilty about something. And as evidenced by all of these male feminists and believe all women's types, I support victims types, being outed as abusers, all of these people who are constantly crusading all over the internet about inappropriate drawings, being busted diddling real life kids or watching real CP, it's no surprise. The more someone virtue signals, the higher the chance that they are guilty of the very thing they won't shut up about. It's projection. It's projection and deflection, I guess. Let me clarify that. Projection and deflection. So they project their own sick, twisted insecurities onto the rest of us. They view women as lesser beings. So they assume that everyone else, all other guys who don't call themselves male feminist, must view women that way. Because they do. They sexualize real life children. So when they see a drawing they don't like, oh, it's personal because that's all they can think about, because that's all they do. And that's the projection. So then here comes the deflection part. They keep getting busted for doing the same thing they accuse other people of doing, or worse. So this whole thing is just a deflection. Hey, look at what this guy's doing. Don't pay attention to the skeletons in my closet. Don't open that. Look at how much of a piece of shit this guy is. That's all it is with these fucking virtue signalers. They have skeletons. They have closets full of skeletons, closets bursting with skeletons. They are guilty of usually way worse than they accuse other people of. And some of them may actually be decent enough to have a guilty conscience. Most of them don't. Most of them, I actually think, are psychopaths. Do NPCs feel guilty? I don't know. If they're only doing what they've been programmed to do, I don't know if they can even feel bad about all the damage they do, right? I don't know. I don't know if they can or not. Maybe a few can. But some of them, funny enough, may actually at least have the decency to feel guilt over how horrible they are. So they got to virtue signal to make up for it. Yeah, so I guess, let me clarify. Maybe that's the third reason. So first reason of virtue signaling, Oh, dude, I could create a list out of this. First reason to virtue signal, first reason virtue signalers do this is projection. They project their own insecurities on everybody else. Second reason behind virtue signaling is deflection. They're trying to deflect attention away from themselves because they know if they're ever investigated, they're probably going to go to jail for life. The third reason is a guilty conscience. They have to have everyone around them tell them how good they are because they themselves know damn well how much of a fucking lie it is. They know what horrible pieces of shit they are, and the only thing stopping them from, putting an end to themselves, I guess, is when other people keep reassuring them, oh, you're such a good person. The world is such a better place now that you're here. Oh my God, it would suck if you were gone. Oh, aren't you such a good person? If they're not constantly being told that, then they're forced to accept the reality that that's a blatant lie. They're not good people. They are horrible pieces of shit. So in order to maintain their own mental stability, they need to counter their guilt by basically having people tell them it's not true. It's like, oh no, you're not horrible. That whatever bad things you may have done, I'm sure it was a mistake. Look at how good you are. Look at all the good things you did. And it's precisely because of this that the only time they ever pretend to be good is when there's other people watching. They are the exact opposite of these actually good people. The actually good people do what I just described at the very beginning. They always just do good deeds by nature. I mean, because they're good people, they just default to doing good things. And usually when no one's watching, no one even knows about it, that's just what they do as good people. Meanwhile, these virtue signalers, you never catch them doing a good deed unless they can brag about it to somebody. You ever notice that? You never catch them doing a good deed in private. Oh, hell no. Why would they waste their time and money and whatever on that? If I'm going to go through all the effort to do a good deed, someone's going to pat me on the back over it, god damn it. And so, knowing this, once you learn that this is how they operate, it's no longer any surprise that all these virtue signalers are constantly being outed as being horrible pieces of shit. Yeah, the only reason they virtue signal in the first place is to either cover up or get over the guilt caused by them being such pieces of shit. That's it. That's all it is. And they have the nerve to project their own shady-ass evil bullshit onto everyone else in the process, and then wonder why everyone hates them. You have to be next-level stupid to go out onto a stage, pull out your megaphone, and scream to everyone else, hey, look at this good thing I did. Aren't I such a good person? And then get offended when the response you get is, yeah, right. What the hell are you expecting? Are you actually expecting everyone to show up and pat you on the back and tell you how good you are? Maybe there's a few idiots who will, but the vast majority of the population, we're on to you. We know how virtue signalers work. Yeah, so I guess I can end that there. There's not really too much more to say. I'm just going to be repeating myself if I keep going along. So, rant over. In case some of you aren't aware yet, we actually have launched the Blade Devil merch shop. Link in the description box. So if you've ever wanted to support the channel but actually wanted something physical in return, we got the shop for you now. Lots of good stuff up in here. So if you would like any of those, or just in general want to support the channel, want to support original content, original products, like Diversity in Comics always used to say, then this is probably the best way to do it. So check it out. We're going to be adding new items on a monthly basis, at least in the near future. So check back often, and independent projects like the ones we're working on are only possible thanks to you guys. So appreciate all of your support.